Now, having some idea about the indifference curve, next we are moving to the idea of budget or income constraints of the individual. Because from the very beginning, we are telling that we are talking about rational human being. Rational human being. And for a rational human being, he or she may be willing to have too many things. However, whenever she is planning his purchase, whenever she is making any purchase plan, she is planning it with respect to her own income. Okay. So a rational consumer will not plan abruptly, rather, she will plan something which can be done or which can be captured given her income. So income or income constraint or budget constraint is very important, while I'll finally go for planning something. So after understanding the how to present satisfaction, what is meant by indifference curve, how indifference curve can capture the idea of utility or satisfaction. Next, we are trying to develop the concept of income constraint or budget constraint. Now, the budget constraint will have two sides. In the left-hand side, we will consider the expenditure side of the budget, whereas in the right-hand side, we will consider the income part. That is expenditure equal to income, this kind of equation, or expenditure less than equal to income, this kind of equation. And if you are a rational consumer, in that case, expenditure should not be greater than equal to income. Okay, so either it will be less than or it will be equal to income. So in general, if you consider a general context, an individual consumes as well as saves. The additional amount of income will be saved for the future consumption. For future, I'll keep some money and that amount is saving at present. However, to simplify the matter, we will start with a context where consumer does not save. Consumer spends his or her entire income. So in that case, I'll mostly talk about a budget constraint, which will be an equality constraint. That is, the expenditure side will be exactly equal to that of the income side. Is there any problem in Google Meet? Yes, Pranjali? Pranjali?
No, ma'am, it was by mistake. I
Okay, so the problem is about how much goods a person can buy with limited income. So this is the context we are considering, because we are considering a consumer is a rational consumer. Here we assume consumer does not save. So with no saving, with income I, only spend money on goods X and Y with the price PX and PY. So PX and PY are unit prices of the commodity. This is given to the consumer, and with these two prices and given the income I can write budget constraint as XPX plus YPY less than equal to I. XPX means expenditure on X. YPY means expenditure on Y. So this is the total expenditure. Total expenditure. Small x amount of X I am purchasing, and unit price is PX. Small y amount of Y I am purchasing, and unit price is given by PY. So this is the equation. So suppose PX is equal to 2, PY is equal to 1, income is equal to 8. Then the budget equation will be written as 2x plus y less than equal to 8. In a two commodity world, the equation can be restated in terms of an equality constraint. Okay, so it can be written as 2x plus y is equal to 8 in this format. 2x plus y is equal to 8. This will be the format. Okay, so if I consider the budget line as I is equal to xpx plus ypy, this format, from this equation can be presented in y is equal to mx plus c format. This equation can be presented in y is equal to mx plus c format. So I am doing so. Ypy can be written as I minus xpx. Ypy is equal to I minus xpx. So y is equal to I by py minus x into px by py. So this is y is equal to mx plus c format, where c is equal to I by py, which is intercept of the budget line. On the other hand, minus px by py is equivalent to the gradient m. So this is the slope of the budget line. This is the gradient of the budget line. Minus px by py is the slope or the gradient of the budget line. So I by py is the intercept, whereas px by py is the absolute slope of the budget line. So what I did, I considered the income expenditure equation, and that I am presenting as y is equal to mx plus c format, where c is equivalent to income by price of y. This is the intercept of the budget line, whereas the mx part is given by minus x into px by py. So m is minus px by py. That is the gradient or the slope of the budget line. So absolute slope of the budget line is given by px by py. Px by py is the absolute slope of the budget line. Now look, the intercept is income deflated by unit price of y. This I is actual or the real income, while, I is the actual income of the consumer, while it is deflated by price of y it is deflated by unit price of commodity. This will be considered as real income of the consumer, while I indicates the actual money income of the consumer. I by PY indicates real income of the consumer. Income deflated by price indicates real income of the consumer. In the beginning, we talked about this thing, what is meant by money income, what is meant by real income. So our initial days, we did discuss about these things. So please check the concepts from that point. So here, please take note of the fact that I is the money income of the consumer, while I by PY is the real income of the consumer. So intercept of the budget line indicates real income of the consumer in terms of price of y. It could be I by px, however, it is I by py. So it is the real income of the consumer with respect to py. On the other hand, the gradient or absolute gradient of the budget line is px by py, which is nothing but relative prices of the commodities. It is px by py, so it is the relative price of the commodities. Px by py is nothing but relative price of the commodities. The equation I is equal to xpx plus ypy, or y is equal to I by py minus xpx by py can be presented by this kind of straight line in a two commodity space. I'm considering commodity X along the horizontal axis and commodity Y along the vertical axis. The budget line can be presented by this kind of linear curve where dy by dx is given by minus px by py. dy by dx is given by minus px by py, and the intercept is given by I by py. Now I'm telling dy by dx will be equal to minus px by py. Again, taking total differentiation of the budget equation, we can derive the slope the way we did in case of the indifference curve. So let's do the thing. Totally differentiating the above equation, we get since income is fixed, okay, so this is the slope of the indifference curve. dy by dx is equal to minus px by py is the slope of the indifference curve. Everybody got it? So graphically also, we are getting the sense that minus px by py will appear as the gradient of the indifference curve, and directly while I'm solving this equation using total differentiation, I'm also getting the slope of the budget line is nothing but minus px by py. Any question? Is it all right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody is getting this?
Ma'am,
Yes.
Please?
ma'am, question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, px by py, what is it relative?
Px by Py is the relative prices of the commodities.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
relative. This is basically price of X in terms of price of Y. So this is the relative price. You can write the thing in this way too. Relative price and earlier I told you I is the money income. whereas I by Py okay. Are you getting it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question? I, that is income, and Py remaining constant. If Px increases, the budget line will rotate to the inward direction. And on the other hand, for a change in income, Px and Py remaining constant, the budget line will shift. So we have to understand these 2 points. Today I'll finish elaborating these 2 points. So what I'm telling, I and Py, that means income and price of Y remaining constant if Px increases. Other things remaining constant if Px increases. Remember that here Px, Py and I are 3 parameters of the model. So let me write. Okay, these are exogenously given. This will not be determined endogenously. Okay, Px, Py and I are parameters of the model, whereas X and Y are variables. X and Y are variables, whereas Px, Py and I are parameters of the model. Okay, so given these things, I by Py is the intercept of the budget line. So if I and Py remain unchanged, only Px changes. That means intercept remaining constant, only slope changes, because slope is, absolute slope is given by Px by Py. So other things remaining constant, that means I and Py remaining constant. If Px changes, then what will happen to the budget line? That will indicate the slope of the budget line will change. Let me. And if I consider the absolute slope, mod dy by dx, it is Px. So now I am telling different context. Context 1, I and Py Px says, say it increases. So what will happen? On the other hand, it will move to the upward direction, that is, it will increase. If IPY remaining constant, PX increases. In that case, I by PY will remain fixed, whereas PX by PY will increase. Okay, that means this is, say, the original budget line. AB is the original budget line. So I'm telling PX is increasing. So PX by PY is increasing, whereas OA, the intercept, will remain unchanged. So this I'll be able to capture if I consider this kind of budget line, or again, if PX further increases, the budget line will be even steeper. So this is happening. So slope of the budget line that is becoming steeper and steeper as other things remaining constant, PX is increasing. On the other hand, if other things remaining constant, PX falls, there will be outward swing of the budget line. Outward swing of the budget line. So budget line will rotate to the outward direction. This is swing or rotation. It is not the shift of the line, because I am keeping the line fixed at the point A. I'm keeping the line fixed at the point A. I am moving to this direction or this direction depending on whether the price of X is increasing or decreasing. Price of X is increasing indicates my slope Px by Py is increasing. So I'll move to the inward direction. Price of X is falling, that means the slope, the absolute slope, is becoming flatter and flatter. That means I'll swing to the outward direction. So other things remaining constant, if there is a change in Px, the budget line will swing. Whether it will swing to the outward direction or swing to the inward direction, that will depend on whether I am considering a reduction in Px or I am considering an increase in Px. However, remember that for any change in Px, other parameters remaining constant, we are getting the rotation of the budget line. Okay, the swing of the budget line, not the shift of the budget line. Any question?
Ma'am,
Yes.
could you repeat the last line? That concluded lines.
I hope you are understanding other parameters remaining constant. If px increases, that means the absolute slope is becoming larger and larger. For that, there will be inward swing of the budget line, or budget line will move to the inward direction. On the other hand, for a reduction in px, other parameters remaining constant, px by py will fall. So the slope of the budget line will become flatter. So the budget line will swing to the outward direction. So for any change in px, other parameters remaining constant, we will get the rotation of the budget line, not the shift of the budget line. For any change in px, we will get the rotation of the budget line, not the shift of the budget line. Any other question? Anything? It's okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is case 1. Now I am going to case 2. Okay, px and py, that is prices of the commodities remaining unchanged. Now I'm considering the change in income. So this implies I by py intercept changes. This will be captured by parallel shift of the budget line. This change will be captured by the parallel shift of the budget lines. Again, a two commodity world. Suppose this is the initial budget line. Now, other things remaining constant means px by py remain constant. That means absolute slope of the budget line remain constant. However, say income is increasing. In that case, I by py will increase. So the budget line will shift to the rightward direction. On the other hand, if I falls, that means I by py falls, other things remaining constant, I by py falls, the slope of the budget line will remain unchanged. So the budget line will shift to the leftward direction. Okay. Suppose AB is the initial budget line. suppose AB is the initial budget line. If income increases, budget line will shift to the rightward direction, say at MN. On the other hand, other things remaining constant, if there is a reduction in money income, real income falls and the budget line will shift to the leftward direction, say at KL. The budget line will shift to the leftward direction, say at KL. So for any increase in income, budget line will shift to the rightward direction. For any reduction in income, the budget line will shift to the leftward direction. Here we are getting a set of parallel lines which indicates slope of all the budget lines AB, KL, MN are same. Only the intercept changes. Only the intercept changes. Okay. Any question?
No.
Okay, so today I'll stop here. So I'll start from this point on the next class. So if anyone have any question, please ask me. So I'm stopping with this, I'll start from this point in the next class.